All right, once again, the interview will be available on Baylor's FTP site. Please give your name and affiliation before you ask a question. Make sure your cell phones are silent. We'll go ahead and get things started with Coach Knoll. Give an opening statement on the match, Coach.
Congratulations to Virginia. They were better in the big moments than we were and deserved to win.
Coach Jason with Waco Tribune Herald. Looked like things were kind of starting to turn your way late in the match, and had some guys break back and get into third sets. I mean, did you feel like you were turning and had a good chance there?
Well, I think that you see in a match like this, this close, is you're going to have momentum swing back and forth numerous times. And we got off to a really poor start in the third set at 3. I think we had down love 4, and then kind of started to claw our way back into that one, and that's where I was. So I certainly felt some momentum there. Tony and Mitchell were having a heck of a battle out there on 2, and again, I wasn't really watching point by point, but I could tell that they were really going after each other and competing hard and giving everything they've got. And again, I think the last matches that were finishing, Mate's match as well, where I was watching, a tough match. Both guys scratching for everything they could get. Alex and Mate both fighting hard and doing a great job.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Insider. Matt, you mentioned Tony. I mean, he loses first set 0-6. Just his fight to come back and kind of get himself back.
Well, Jerry, I don't know if there's anybody outside of our locker room that gave him a chance to win that match. And we really felt like we had a good plan. We felt like if we could execute the plan, we would have a real chance. And I think in talking to the coaches, maybe what happened was Tony was executing the plan to a certain extent, but then when in the key moments he got a little overexcited and kind of deviated. And I think that's something that you can do. It's easy to fall back into what you feel comfortable doing. I think he did some of that, and again, it sounds easy when I sit up here and say do the plan, but the guy's a great player, and he just poses some real challenges.
Julian had beaten Ryan before. What was the difference today? Was Ryan just that good?
I got the impression that Ryan just made up his mind he was going to come out and hit everything as hard as he could, and he was hot, and I think he knocked Julian on his heels by coming out and being so aggressive. And being so hot, he wasn't making mistakes, and we weren't able to do a good enough job on our own serve to extend the match to give him sort of a chance to cool off. And that's pro tennis. The guy's playing ATP level tennis when he's serving 140 and hitting his forehand and backhand 100 miles per hour. You're going to win points against anybody in the world playing like that, and if a guy comes out and does that, then you're not going to win. If you can keep it up from start to finish. So your job is to focus on your serve, hold serve, and kind of hang around and hope that he cools off a little bit and wait for your opportunity. And we didn't do a good job of that.
But you win doubles and then you get 3 first sets. I mean, how difficult was it that you weren't able to get a quick point on the board and get a straight set win?
Well, yeah, huge. That momentum's awesome. But I think again, those guys are all good. And nobody's going to get out of your way and make it easy for you. And I didn't have the sense that any of us. I thought Mate got a little bit passive on the second, where maybe he could have been that guy. But again, the level was high. The effort was there, and I think as a coach, that's all you can ask for.
Did Max get away from his plan as well at 3, or what?
I think what happened is his opponent took extended breaks at the end of the first and second set, and kind of froze him out. He flattened out. He came out. He lost in the. I think I've got this right. You have to look at the scorecard, but I think he made 7 unforced errors to start the second and 7 unforced errors to start the third. And he was serving to open both those sets, so he went down a break and loved 40 and didn't make the guy do anything except get the ball in. And then once he got behind, he started to kind of raise his, get his focus level back and started to compete hard. But, at this level, you can't just come out and hand the guy a break at the beginning of a set.
Diego said he likes these conditions. Looks like he was able to kind of wear his guy down
Yeah,
there.
Diego's, again, playing his best tennis. He's really proud of the way he finished his career. He played with a lot of passion. He's been sort of our emotional leader in the locker room, and really has given a lot of his heart, as all the guys have. But I think Diego's probably the most charismatic guy that we have, and he's sort of grown to feel comfortable in that role. It's funny when he came in and I'd say something to him about leading or whatever, he'd always push back and say, I don't want to lead. I don't want that responsibility of being that guy that people look to. And I think he grew to feel good about that role. And I think you saw out there that he was doing some of that.
Sean Gerard, Baylor area. Coach, what kind of opportunity was it to host this tournament?
Well, it's funny. Great question. I think it's the preparation phase is exhaustive. You put so much of your focus and heart and soul into getting the place ready and trying to make a great impression on college tennis and all the student athletes that are going to come in here and give them a first-class venue and a first-class experience in terms of organizing the volunteers and all the things that go into this. And as well as the community. We really reached out and worked hard to get the Waco community behind this event because it is special. And I think, but once the tournament starts, the NCAA is incredibly clear on telling us that it's not our tournament. And so, my job is just to kind of coach my team. It's funny. One of the things that our volunteers have been getting a lot of grief about is the schedule changes that have been happening with the weather, and they're having to explain to the fans that Baylor has nothing to do with it. The NCAA is trying to get these matches in, and I think they did a good job with some of the challenges we faced. But it's special for us, special for our community, special for our program, special for Baylor, and I can't say enough about. I honestly, I'd be excited to get an idea from anybody in this room about how I can thank all the people in our athletic department and in our community that put so much heart and soul into making this a great championship. Because, if you look at Nick Jost walking around over there in the back, the guy's a zombie. I mean, he hadn't seen his family in 2 weeks, and we're just, getting started in this championship. And we've got a lot of people that are pouring a lot of energy into this tournament. And, I'm going to make it a point to take the time to thank them in an appropriate way and let them know how much I appreciate everything that they've done.
Coach Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com. What do you think about the OU Virginia championship match?
Well, again, I think what you're seeing, Wendell, is that these teams are all really close. I understand that was a 4-3 match. I haven't seen the box score or anything, but it sounds to me like if you watch those matches, you saw really close competitive stuff with both teams, and I think you're going to see really close competitive stuff tomorrow in the final. I think it's anybody's match. I think again, OU seems to be something of a team of destiny. They seem to be finding a way to win day in and day out, and that's a credit to them. I can tell you for myself, I'm going to unabashedly cheer for the Big 12 team, and I hope they win the thing.
Matt, you were at home first time in this situation. Does that make it harder, worse, losing in the semifinals at home? Or?
Again, kind of going back to what I said a second ago, I think it's really hard to not be distracted, because you do feel a sense of responsibility that from everything that the nets look right to the parking's good and the hospitality's got the right kind of sandwiches, and you want to make sure that it's first class and it's something that really makes a great impression on the players that come in here and the coaches. And so I think it was a challenge for me, particularly with my personality, because I'm not that good at letting things go. I'm pretty detail oriented, to kind of focus on what I need to be focused on. But I've got a great staff. Again, the people that are helping us in the department did a great job of telling me to shut up and quit asking questions about all these details and to go coach my team. And but it was, for me personally, a real learning experience. I think were we to coast, hopefully we'll host it again. We're certainly going to bid. I think I'll do a better job of managing, all the things that you're trying to manage when you're hosting a great event like this.
Cody Soto, Baylor Lariat, losing a few key players here to the graduation. So can you just talk about your senior class and what they did for you and for the program?
Well, we got better every year they were here. They replaced a big class, so when they came in, we didn't have sort of a typical Baylor great year. I think we made the Sweet 16 that year, but I think we finished outside the top 10, and it took some lumps. It was a rocky year for us as a young group, and they just continued to develop, and we added a few pieces, and they go out on a high note. The best year that they had in their 4 years, and they continue to push. They continue to be passionate. They continue to care about the program. These guys are all making really good grades. They're all going to be incredibly successful in life. It's really what the program's all about, and what the college tennis is all about. Special guys that care about their institution, their teammates, do great in school, and go on to do great things. Thanks, guys.